Hello again, everyone. This is Dr. Sturgis, and in this video, I'm going to discuss your second homework assignment for Business 560. So when you look at the homework, you can see basically what it's asking you to do is to perform some correlation analysis in Excel. So when you do the correlation analysis, you will note that it involves two parts. So let's look at the data and let's see how you actually conduct the correlation analysis. So here's the data file that you'll be working with. And for this example, I've simplified it. So I just have the age and the monthly income variable along with the employee number variable. And so I've already calculated the correlation between age and monthly income. And when you look at it, when you click on here, you can see that it's done the same way that we did the descriptive statistics. So again, it's just, you click on the equal sign, and then you find the function that you want, you select your data. So let's go ahead and do it again. So I'll just click in this cell here, and again, equal sign in the formula bar. This has already got Pearson, so that's the one that we want. Ask you to select your data, and it doesn't it doesn't matter if you select age or income first. So again, you just gonna select all your data. Click over here again. Click on this button for the second array. And now we're just gonna get all our income values. You can see that it gives you the result here. So you just click OK, and it puts that number in the appropriate cell. In Excel, you can either use this Pearson or the Correl, that stands for correlation, and it's done the same way. And as you can see, it's going to give you the same number. So this is the first step, because all we've done so far is we've calculated the correlations, and that's just the magnitude of the relationship. We're also interested in the significance of the relationship. So one way to think about it is magnitude is basically how big is the relationship or how strong is the relationship. And the significance answers the question of, do the sample results generalize to a larger population? So unfortunately in Excel, and this is a disadvantage of using Excel as compared to a statistics program like SPSS or SAS, you have to go through a second step to actually calculate the significance of your correlation value. So in order to do that, you're actually going to conduct regression analysis. And if you look at your homework assignment in the second part, it actually asks you to conduct regression analysis as well. So to do that, you're going to click up here on the Data tab. And over here, in the analysis, if you have this icon that says data analysis, then you're good to go. That means that you already have that data analysis tool pack installed. If you do not have that installed, you're of course going to have to install it. And so that's going to vary a little bit depending upon what version of Excel that you have. Um, but basically, you're going to go to the home, to file, and then we're looking for options down here. And then we're looking for add-ins. And if you didn't have that installed, you would click on this Go button, and it would ask you to check the box for the add-on that you want to install. So you'd hit OK, and then it would take a few seconds, and it would install that. We already have installed, so we're good to go. So we'll hit cancel here. And then to do the regression, so again, you're going to go over to the data. You're going to hit this data analysis. You're going to pick the one that you want, and we want regression. So we hit OK here. And so the input Y range, click this button here. And so you select your monthly income. So monthly income is your Y. Input X range. Again, you're going to select your age there. You want to check this line fit plots for the purposes of this homework here, and I'll explain why in a second. Everything else is good, so we can hit OK here. So it puts your results in a second tab, and we'll move this over for a second. And basically, what we want, a couple things that we want from this output. The first thing, so if we take this multiple R number, and so let's copy that. Let's go back to this tab and let's just paste it here. A label here so we don't get confused. So as you see, the correlation that we calculated a minute ago was this 0.463 and multiple R. So the multiple R in regression is the same thing as your correlation value. So again, if you're just doing regression with two variables, your multiple R is going to be the same as your Pearson's correlation because the two procedures are mathematically equivalent. To get the significance, we can get that in two areas. You can get it from this column here, the significance F, and I'll go ahead and explain that since you'll need to know what that is when you do the regression analysis. So what the F is it's an ANOVA test that compares this model with predictor variables to a null model. A null model is a model that has no predictors in it. And what this test is trying to determine is when you add these variables, does that increase your prediction? So if the F value is significant, then that means that yes, in fact, when you added these variables, your prediction increased. So we can get, again, we can get this significance level in either here, or if you look at the p-value for the x variable 1 here, you see that it's the same thing. Um, so if we, and you see here, this is a very small number. And so if we want to convert that, all we have to do is change this from general to a number and put the number of decimal places. And this is a pretty small number. So let's go out to 15 decimal places. And again, so you can see that um, this indeed is a very small number. That there's looks like about 14 zeros before that one, and the value that you're looking for is you want f to be less than 0.05 or less than 0.01 or less than 0.001. In our case here, our f value is significantly lower. It's a lot lower than 0.001. So that means that indeed our correlation is significant. And so typically the way that you represent it is that, again, all people are really interested in is P less than either 0.05, 0.01, or 0.001. And it's typical to just use asterisks, one asterisk for 0.05, two asterisks for 0.01, and three asterisks for less than 0.001. So when you make the table, typically it's good to round the correlation to 2 decimal points. So go to an empty cell here, and instead of number, when you're working Excel, you have to make this text. So 0.46, 1, 2, 3 asterisks. And typically you want to, again, you want to align that to so that everything lines up on the right side. And then over here we could put R equals. And so what that's to wrap up, what that's telling you is, so the correlation, it's 0.46. And so that is a fairly large correlation. If you want to interpret how large that correlation is, since we already have the regression output, we can just look at this tab and we can look at the R square. And so it's 0.21. So if you take that R squared number and you multiply that by 100 to make it a percentage, that means that it explains about 21.5% of the variance. So what that means is that since we're looking at age and monthly income, so variation in age explains about 21.5% of the variation in monthly income. And we know that it's statistically significant given the significant F value that we looked at in the regression tab. So that wraps up this first video on how to do your correlation analysis in Excel. And I will post a second video that shows you how to do the rest of the assignment. In any case, I hope this video has been helpful, and we will see you next time.